Okay, so I haven't talked about the Ben Simmons thing that much lately, and for some reason I feel like doing it now. Maybe it's because of the Shams update today, where pretty much people around the NBA, executives, whoever, believe that Daryl Morey is holding out for James Harden, pretty much, with the idea of a sign and trade because Harden is most likely going to decline his player option. And I actually want to start with that real quick. You're telling me there's a chance James Harden's going to leave the Nets? I mean, I assumed he was just going to decline the option and then re-sign for as much money as he could. Clearly, Daryl Morey must believe that that's a possibility. Unless this report is totally false, but I mean, it's coming from Shams. He's a trusted source. I guess I have to take that as a possibility? I mean, this is the belief among people around the league. This isn't a report that, to me, suggests that the Sixers are just saying this in order to get other teams to put more in. Unless the Sixers did some super five-head stuff to make it appear that way. What I say to that, and what I say when I look at some of the potential things that have been talked about between the Kings being willing to offer apparently their whole roster. I mean, it's not all in one trade, but I've seen like De'Aaron Fox stuff. I've seen some Harrison Barnes, Buddy Hield stuff, although Tobias would be going back. Also, they were asking for Thibault. I think we all saw that Pistons offer, Jeremy Grant, Olynyk, Sadiq Bey, first-round pick. Whatever else might be out there. I mean, there's been little things talking about like John Collins. I don't even know how true those really are or if that's just conversation. The point is with all this, if you're Daryl Morey, you better be right on the move is coming this offseason because I feel like you only get to do this once. You only get one season of we're going to hold out on what could be good or very good for what could be amazing. Whether that is Harden, Bradley Beal, because his contract it's very similar to Harden, player option, that whole spiel. Dame, whoever else that I can't think of. Of course, there's nothing stopping Daryl Morey from dragging this out for the next 4 years, but, Joel Embiid, his age, how good he is right now, it's been talked about enough. And sure, from Morey's perspective, he can just say, well, all these other moves, whether it's a Kings thing or, well, the Jeremy Grant thing probably won't be there if Grant is traded this year, but he could say to himself, these pretty good offers, I can do this in the offseason. I don't have to do it right now. But then, of course, the conversation is, well, are you wasting a year of Joel Embiid's prime? Daryl Morey's reply to that will be, all these packages that you guys are saying that I'm stupid for not taking on Twitter, none of those moves make us as better as you guys think it does. Is Daryl Morey right on that one? Well, the actual answer is I don't know, but I would guess, yeah, he's probably right. I don't think Kelly Olynyk, Jeremy Grant, Sadiq Bey, and a first makes the Sixers as good as the Bucks or the Nets. Granted, there's so much uncertainty now with KD's injury and the everlasting Kyrie Irving situation, but what the hell do I know? Upsets happen all the time, whatever else. As the Sixers are well aware, because that's how we got into this spot in the first place. Anyway, I want to talk about just the Kings for a bit. So at first there was a thing about how they were considering moving De'Aaron Fox, but then Woj had a big thing about how, no, they don't want to move him or Halliburton at all. But then there's also been the constant sort of attachment between Simmons and Fox, and then there's this thing about the Sixers asking for Halliburton and multiple first-round picks. Then there was also the rumor of how the Kings, this is the tweet, the Kings weighed a trade package of Buddy Hield, Tyrese Halliburton, Harrison Barnes, and 2 firsts for Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, and Tobias Harris. And apparently the Sixers were like, we're chill on that one. What am I supposed to make of all this? I don't know. That trade report was from Keith Pompey, who I think is a pretty widely considered trusted source. I've got no clue, dude. I mean, for what it's worth, I think that return, like if you really could get that, like Hield, Barnes, and Halliburton, I think that's the best you could do besides getting a James Harden type of guy. Especially because of Halliburton's potential. I mean, we all saw the 20-point, 10-assist run that he had recently, I mean, that team would be full of shooting, and I mean, Harrison Barnes is like your new power forward, and he's just better than Tobias Harris. But apparently it's not going to happen, or maybe it will. Again, I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. So I've got no idea, bro. I will say this, because sometimes as I read too much NBA Twitter, I'm like, wait a minute, am I going insane here? Ben Simmons is very good at basketball, and he instantly makes any team he shows up on way better. And if you want to say, yeah, what about the playoffs? Sure, that's a conversation to be had. But do you know how many teams would love to get to the playoffs first, let alone the potential of it being disappointing? Just simply getting there, there's a good amount, and Ben Simmons can do that for you. And also, call me crazy, maybe this is a hot take, Perhaps there's a chance that over time Ben Simmons' playoff struggles will no longer be a thing, especially if a team doesn't put him in the dunker spot all the time because the head coach doesn't know what else to do with him. Now, there's other things within that between Ben still needs to be aggressive. Yes, I obviously saw the pass he made against the Hawks like everybody else did. I made a 2-minute meme video about it. And Ben probably needs to embrace setting screens more. Sure, that's all that. But to act as if Ben Simmons is just a lost cause, sorry, I'm not on that boat with you. Anyway, that's all I got. Is he going to get moved to the deadline? I'll just say no, for the sake of, I don't know, Twitter.